Hello, lovely viewers. You welcome to today's episode on the Guided Midwife channel. My name is Aisha and I am a registered midwife. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about G6PD in pregnancy. So please, if you find my videos very educative and interesting, then don't forget to subscribe. You can also hit on the notification icon to get an alert anytime I post a video. So when we say G6PD, it's an abbreviation of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. Yeah, so if you say G6PD deficiency, it means glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. So you know the name or the word is quite long. That's why we've abbreviated it. I'm not the one who abbreviated it too. Yeah, we don't want you to bite your tongue, that's why. So G6PD is not a condition, it's an enzyme. So G6PD is an enzyme that protects the red blood cell from breaking down. So a deficiency in that G6PD is when someone develops a condition called G6PD deficiency. So when you say G6PD deficiency, it means when someone lacks the enzyme to protect the red blood cell from breaking down or doesn't have enough of the enzyme, that's the G6PD, to protect the red blood cell from breaking. So this enzyme called the G6PD also helps the red blood cell to act or function correctly. So lack of the enzyme or G6PD causes the red blood cell to break down faster than normal. Yeah, so it can cause hemolytic anemia because the red blood cell has a lifespan of 120 days. So if your red blood cell is breaking down around the 90th day, it means you can get anemia because the enzyme is not protecting the red blood cell, so it's going to break faster than normal. So G6PD is a genetic disorder, so it means you can inherit it from your mother or father. And you know the G6PD is X-linked inherited. I know you've heard about sex chromosomes. So male has a sex chromosome of X and Y, and female also has a sex chromosome of X and X. So the G6PD defect or G6PD deficiency is X-linked. Yeah, it's inherited on the X. So since male and female has the X chromosomes and you are saying the G6PD defect or deficiency is X-linked inheritance, it means a male or female can get that deficiency. So as a pregnant woman, you have to know whether you have G6PD defect, whether you have full defect, partial defect, or no defect. So if you are no defect, it means you have the enzyme to protect your red blood cell. And if you are partial defect, it means the enzyme is not enough to protect. You have the enzyme, but it's not enough to protect the red blood cell from breaking down. So when you have full defect, it means you lack the enzyme. You have no enzyme, to protect your red blood cell from breaking down. So that's when the issue comes in. So if you are partial defect and full defect, you have an issue. So as a pregnant woman, you have to know your G6PD status, because if you are full defect or partial defect, there are some triggers. So if you are full defect or partial defect, there are certain things that you shouldn't do, even if you're not pregnant. You know, people who have G6PD defect react to some chemicals, drugs, and foods. So if you know your status that you have full defect or partial defect, there are some foods that you shouldn't even eat. There are some drugs or medicines that you shouldn't take, and some chemicals you shouldn't go near, because it's going to cause the rapid breakdown of your red blood cell and it can cause hemolytic anemia. So we as health workers, we want to know your G6PD status. So if you have full defect or partial defect, the foods that you shouldn't go near or eat, we have the fava beans, legumes, blueberries, peanut, tonic water. There are a lot. And with the drugs or medications, we have aspirin and sulfur drugs. And with the chemicals, we have naphthalene ball and some dyes. So do you know something? We as health workers, we want to know if you have full defect or partial defect. I remember I said that sulfur drugs can trigger or cause your red blood cell to break down faster than normal. So you know, when you are pregnant, we have this prophylactic drug, malaria drug, that we give to the pregnant women to protect them or prevent them from getting malaria. It's called sulfadosine pyrimethamine. This drug contains sulfur. So if you have full defect or partial defect, we want to know so that we won't give you that drug to take, because it can cause your red blood cell to break down faster than normal. And we also want to know your status, because I remember I said that It is genetic. It means your baby inside your uterus can inherit the G6PD defect. So, as I said earlier, if you have full defect or partial defect, it means you lack the enzyme, or the enzyme G6PD is not enough to protect the red blood cell from breaking down. So if your baby in the uterus inherits that defect, it means when your baby comes out, your baby's red blood cell is also going to break down faster than normal, so it can cause jaundice. So this explains why some babies get severe jaundice after birth. Yeah, that some can be pathological or physiological. If your baby is a girl, your baby can inherit the deficiency from his dad. During cell divisions, those meiosis and mitosis, no, if the man gives the Y and the woman gives the X, it means the baby is going to be a boy. And if the man gives the X, and definitely the woman is going to give an S, so the baby is going to be a girl. So as I said, the defect is X-linked. Yeah, it's genetic. So if you are G6PD full defect or partial defect, aside the food, drugs, and chemicals which can trigger your red blood cell to break down faster than normal, infections and some stress can also cause your red blood cell to break down faster than normal. So there are some signs and symptoms if you have G6PD defect, full or partial defect. You experience the following signs and symptoms. You can have tachycardia, or like a faster heart rate. You can have yellowish discoloration of the skin or eyes, or let me say the sclera. You can have dark urine, you can have shortness of breath, and you're going to feel tired always. So I know most of you don't know your G6PD status, whether you have full defect, partial defect, or no defect. So it's about time for you to go to the lab to get yourself checked and tested. Yeah, you have to know your status. And I know you've gained more insight on G6PD defect or deficiency. That's glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. So lovely viewers, this comes to an end to today's episode. If you find my videos very educative and interesting, then please don't forget to subscribe. You can also tap on your notification icon to get an alert anytime I post a video. And please don't forget to like and share as well. Bye.